Staying calm and comfortable during these uncertain times can be a chore, but as adults, it's important that we help the children in our lives stay calm as well. And here to offer some advice on keeping our children on an even keel during the pandemic is Master Mom, Amanda Olson. Good morning, Amanda. How are you?
I'm good, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you. Let's talk about this. This easy to say. Sometimes it's hard to do, isn't it?
It is, and when things are changing for us as the adults and the parents and the leaders in the group, it makes it, sometimes we forget how that really does affect our children and what they're going through, and we do need to stop and take time to realize the stresses, and sometimes they'll act out. It'll be a behavior thing, and really, they just don't know how to communicate what they're going through, or they don't really understand how to let you know what's bothering them. So sometimes, especially if your child is having some new and different behaviors, it might be because of just the uncertainty that we're all going through, and they feel it from the adults, and we want to make sure that we let them know there is somebody in charge and there is somebody that's going to help them through this. I do have a couple of tips to help families with that.
Well, please share those with us, because I think this is something that's kind of universal among all families right now.
Absolutely. And even though my children are grown, we're still working together as a family on uncertain times. But the thing to really help the younger children and your teens is to explain to them that you are also going through this, that you are also uncertain about some things. However, there are some things that you can be certain of. And if you stop to think and even let the child kind of say, okay, what are some things that we know are going to be happening this weekend or tomorrow or today? What are some things that we can be sure of? And maybe it's a planned trip to the lake, or something like that. That's you do have control over, and you can say, this is something we're going to do today. Or if you're staying home, this is a project we are going to work on today, and this is something that we can be certain about. As much as you can, have them focus on the things that are certain. And I would say on purpose, kind of like we talked about before, intentionally making plans and letting the children be involved of things that you can control, and say, okay, there's things that we can't predict, but here's some things that we can predict and we can count on, and it may be an activity. It may be that, this family unit is strong and we all love each other and we're here for each other. But try to let the children be involved in seeing what is certain, those things that are. And if you do make a plan for an activity or an event or, a play date, something like that, make sure, especially if your child or teen is having a lot of stress, make sure you have a plan B and that your child knows about the plan B. And this can help them really relax, because sometimes we do know, it rains, so you're not going to the lake. You can't always be in control of that. Well, actually, you can never be in control of the weather, but but you can be in control of what are we going to do if it rains. You can have a plan B, and having those things set for your child, having a contingency if it doesn't work out. Focusing on the things that your child can say, this is certain, this is certainly happening, could really help alleviate a lot of stress for everybody.
And I still have one of my youngest son, Cooper, is still in high school, and his big concern is, when am I going back to school? And I think that being forthright and having those conversations on a daily basis goes a long way into alleviating a lot of those stresses and concerns.
Yeah, there's really no reason, we don't need to instill fear in our children, but we do need to let them know that you don't necessarily have the answer to that, but you do know that it's all going to work out okay. That together you're going to be able to work through this no matter what, and that they can count on you as the parent to help them through all of this. And honestly, just helping them understand, take it one day at a time. The same thing we tell ourselves, one day at a time, and let your child be a part of that one day at a time, because it can be very isolating if you feel like you're the only one going through these emotions or feelings. And like I said, children don't always know exactly how to express that. It takes us sometimes to figure out exactly what's bothering us, So knowing that together you are going to work through this, together you're going to have these things we can count on, is going to really help and go a long way in relieving stress.
Have you talked to parents recently and offered this advice to them? Because I'm sure it's been on a lot of parents' minds about how to deal with keeping children calm.
Well, I think that it's something that everybody has been of the mindset, at least I know for myself and my family, that things were coming to an end and things were getting back to normal. And what we're finding now is when things are supposed to be starting up, like school, things are not exactly back to normal, and there are things that are uncertain. So I think at this moment in time, summer, people were just saying, okay, we'll get through the summer, we'll do this, but it's going on and on and on. So we do need coping mechanisms. We do need to think, okay, this isn't something to get through. This is something we're going to have to live with for a while. And, making sure we take good care of ourselves as parents, and then also remembering that our little guys and girls and teens, they need our help more than ever right now.
All right. Great advice right there. You said a mouthful right there at the end. Amanda, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate the great sage wisdom there.
Thank you, sir.
All right. We got some information for you up on the screen right now. It's Olson's Martial Arts Academy. They're located right here in downtown Johnson City. Give